Hey y'all, welcome back fam. What's going on with y'all, man? It's your homeboy OG Camera Boy, and today we're gonna be doing something a little bit different, you know what I'm saying? Now, I started this here camera channel because I wanted to talk about cameras, you know what I'm saying? Cameras and cameras and cameras. And we was gonna talk about like older cameras, stuff that you can get used on the market that still has a lot of value to it, man. But today I'm gonna take a bit of a tangent and get somewhere else off the topic, because we have something going on right now that's happening for the first time in like 800 years, you know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something, man. Jupiter and Saturn, they're gonna be tight. They're gonna be tight like this, son, you know what I'm saying? But this year, they're gonna be the closest they've been together since like way back in 1280 something or some shit like that. So we gotta take full advantage, man. We gotta take full advantage. And yo, just to let y'all know, man, put you up on this. Every so often I like to get out there, shoot the night sky, man. I know it don't look like it, but I'm kind of a little bit of a nerd when it comes to that stuff, man. So this like astrophotography stuff got me tripping, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna tell you straight, man, I ain't no expert in this for real. It's just something I dabble with, something that I just enjoy doing, man. It's a lot of fun, a lot of technical aspect to it. So it's like a real type of thing, get your mind working, keep you sharp, you know what I'm saying? If you like those types of things like mathematics and numbers and you know, calculating and all that kind of stuff, well, this might be for you, man. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. You tell me. Leave it in the comments below. You know what I'm saying? So let's get on into it, you know what I'm saying? And for a little extra bonus, man, I was out there last night. I was filming some stuff, just messing around. Afterwards, I got all my data sets, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm just gonna start playing around with this, you know what I'm saying? So I started shooting the moon, man, and I picked something up that was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna check that out, and you're gonna tell me what y'all think, man. See whether or not it's much ado about nothing, or if there's something there, you know what I'm saying? So let's get at it, man. Let's talk about this a little bit. First, I'm gonna introduce you to the cameras that I use. So this was the main one right here, man. This is my ASI 174 MC Cool. Now the MC stands for the fact that this is a color camera. Most people who do astrophotography, they like to shoot in that mono, you know what I'm saying? They like to do that monochrome stuff and then use filters to fill in colors later, which is generally the best way to do it. I ain't gonna front, man. This is kind of like a cheater's method, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, I ain't no pro at this. I was just kind of starting out and all that, so you know, I figured I'd be simplifying it just a little bit and give myself that full color sensor. So I was shooting one of these babies. Now this is a cool camera, and this thing is dope, man. This thing here can be set to temperatures that are like 40 or 60 degrees below ambient temperature, because you know I'm dealing with it here down in South Florida, and I know some of y'all too might be dealing with it other parts of the world where it gets real hot and stuff like that. And when you get these cameras running for a long period of time, man, they heat up real quick. And the problem with that is you start getting them hot pixels on the sensor, so you might get these false readings, you know what I'm saying, where you think you're seeing stars, but it ain't a star cause it's a hot pixel. So it kind of ruins the images, whatever. But this thing, man, this thing will prevent that, because you could set this thing to be like minus 10, minus 20 degrees, you know what I'm saying? And this thing has a cooling system inside it that'll keep it at that temperature. Feel me? So it's pretty dope like that. As a matter of fact, it's crazy, man, because I got this thing cooling and heating at the same time, man, because check that out. Right there on front, I don't know if y'all can see that, but in front, that right there, that's actually a heater. And what that does there, man, is because when it gets real cold, sometimes you get that frost developing on the lens, and y'all obviously don't want to have that. So instead of having that frost, man, you got this thing cooling the temperature of the internals down, while at the same time it's heating up that front lens, you know what I'm saying? So, well, I have a lens, I say a lens, it's like a filter. I got an IR filter that goes over the sensor like that, and sometimes that filter can catch some frost on it. So this prevents that, so it's heating and cooling at the same time, man. Ain't that some shit? That's just dope, man. This thing was dope, man. I was really happy when I got this, man. Anyways, if y'all ain't never seen an astrocam, that's what that looks like. This is the one I've been using to film lately, or to catch my data sets of the conjunction, getting my data sets on that Jupiter, you know what I'm saying, getting it on Saturn and all that. And the reason I'm using this one here is, well, first of all, this is a beast of a sensor, man. This is a 1-inch sensor in here, man. Most of these astrocams, they teeny tiny, you know what I'm saying? Some of the more expensive ones, like this one right here, they tend to have larger sensors on them. And this one here has some crazy pixel pitch on it, man. This thing has pixel pitch better than the R5, man. Better than the Canon R5. I ain't tripping, man. I'm telling you the truth right here. It's not as good as the A7S3, but that's why the A7S3, man, that thing's got crazy low light performance. And so does this here, but it's not far away, man. I think the A7S3 is something like 8 microns or something like that is pixel pitch. This one here is close to 6, so you can get that as an idea. And just to put it in perspective, I think the Canon is under 5. A Canon's like 4 or something rather, you know what I'm saying? But that's why the A7S III works so well in low light, and this one does too right here, you know what I'm saying? So that's something that you gotta have when you're considering these type of cameras. You wanna see the size of the pixels, man. It's not about the megapixels, it's about the size of the pixels. How much light can each one of those pictures capture? Now you see, because this is a color camera instead of the monochromes are so dope, man, because they don't have that like that debayering within each pixel, so that you get a split of different frequencies or wavelengths of light based on the color. They just basically attract all the light, and then you apply the color to them. So they just can saturate themselves, those sensors, with so much light that you tend to get these really high quality, crazy detailed images out of them. Now you can't necessarily do as well with one of these, but man, you do just fine, trust me. If you just starting out, man, this is the way to go for sure, man. Ain't no doubt about it, man. This is what you gotta get your hands on right here, you know what I'm saying? All right, then, so this is one I got because it's got a kind of wide field of view, and I use this one here to do things like the surface of the moon. This one can also be very good for solar, but I never done that yet. Actually, I did shoot the solar eclipse back in 2017 with this one right here with a solar filter, but I ain't got those crazy solar telescopes. Maybe one day I'll pick one up and I'll try and get into that, but it's very expensive, man. One thing at a time, right? So this one here is also probably gonna be pretty decent for the deep space stuff. Every so often I've been out there trying to do that, but I got technical issues with that where I'm at and how I try and do it sometimes. So it's a bit of a challenge, but it's got that nice, you know, wide field of view so that you can catch those things like a galaxy or a nebula and all that, star clusters and all that sort of stuff. So this one here is dope. I've had this a couple of years. I don't think they make this one anymore. I think it's out of production, but hey, this is a nice camera, no doubt. I think they got newer models, the ASI, I don't know what it is now, a 295 or 290, some shit like that. They still sell, I think, the 178, whatever, kind of similar specs. Anyways, let's move along. This is another one that I got. This is my second Astro Cam. It's much smaller, as you can see, and that's because this one is not cooled. It doesn't have that cooling system in it. But this one here I use mostly as like a guide cam, and if I want to shoot planets. So you saying to yourself, yo, cuz, why you shooting with that other one if you talking about shooting planets and you use this one here to shoot planets? So I told you, son, because I want to get that wider field of view, man. Jupiter and Saturn, they right next to each other right now, man. So I want to be able to catch them both in one single frame. This one, unfortunately, with the setup that I had going on yesterday, I think the field of view was just too small, man. I couldn't fit them on there. So anyway, so I had to go with that one there right there, and that worked perfectly. I used it with a 2x Barlow, which is like a focal reducer, you know what I'm saying? So even the field of view from that one was too wide, so I had to kind of reduce it by 2 times. And then I had a nice sort of capture. I'll put up a picture right out. This is the image that I caught last night, man. This was me just messing around with it, a couple data sets, and obviously this isn't, you know, you have to keep in mind, man, Jupiter and Saturn, they're two totally different kind of intensities of light in the sky, man. Jupiter's so much brighter than Saturn that it's tough to get the exposure to get them both, you know what I'm saying? So if you get one at proper exposure, the other one's gonna be underexposed, and if you get one at the proper, like Saturn at proper exposure, then Jupiter's gonna be way overexposed. So what you do sometimes, what I did at least, is I caught data sets of both. I knew where the orientations were, and then I just combined them, man, to make a one nice image. So anyways, I hope y'all like that. Like I said, I ain't no pro at this. I just mess around with it because it's something fun to do. But yo, check this out, man. After that was done, I decided I wanted to get started on taking some images of the moon, you know what I'm saying? When I get a good shot of the moon, man, I always like to get up there and check out what's going on, you know what I'm saying? Check it out, man, through the telescope and all that. Never get bored of that, man, because they got some crazy lunar surfaces, you know what I mean? The details is dope, man. You see something like that through a telescope, that suck you in, because that make you want to see it all the time. And then you can see footage that I took actually with just a regular camera, you know what I'm saying? Not one of my Astro cams. I was just messing around with it, and that's where things started to get interesting, man. When I came inside, started looking at that footage, that's shot in 4K, man. I want to show y'all something about it, man. Check this out. All right, so check this out. So I took some 4K footage of the moon last night. So this is what you're looking at right here. Let me play that for y'all. Nothing out of the ordinary. Looks alright, don't you think? Looks okay to me. I mean, I was pretty impressed. I just wanted to see what that 4K footage will come out like, you know what I'm saying? And so you can see that this is basically, it's kind of recorded it in portrait mode here. But this is the frame right here. I'll highlight that with my cursor. So This is, like I said, in 4K 30. And the reason I did that is because I just want to mess around with it, you know what I mean, beyond taking some pictures and all that. So I want to import that into DaVinci. I wanted to sort of zoom in on it and see how close I can get to maybe some of these craters and see how good that 4K is, you know what I'm saying, whether or not it's going to work well. Okay, so let me pause this here. You've seen that now. And here's what happened when I brought it into DaVinci, man. So I took 2 sets of footage of the 4K, both about 1.5 minutes long, nothing crazy. I just wanted to mess around with it. Now, I put the first set of footage in here and the second set of footage there. And here's what I want to note to you about that first set of footage and second set of footage, how they differ and why I decided to do it twice. See, now the first set of footage, if you look at it, check the orientation of how the moon is. And you can see I've already zoomed in here at 2.47 on the X and Y axis. So if I zoom out back, this is what it is normally, you know what I'm saying? So I was zooming it in to something like this here because I wanted to get a better look at it and see how the 4K would play out detail wise, you know what I'm saying? So here we go. Let's just play it a little bit. Looks okay. Yo, but check it out, man. You noticing something? Yo, check this out. So this is obviously the part of the moon right here that's in the shadow, right? So you expect not to see anything there, but check this out, man. I'm gonna play it again and I want to point this out to y'all, and I'll expand it so you can see, but let me just show you something. Okay, I'm playing it. Now you see right here, where'd it go? There it is. You see this? What's this light here flickering? There's like a light flickering. You see this here? On the moon, man. I'm like, what in the F is going on, man? I'm like, this is crazy. And then let me play that back. So you see, I brought that back halfway through the clip, and you can see that light is clearly flickering right here, man. Now, first thing that comes to my mind is like, okay, well, maybe it's just a hot pixel or something, you know what I mean? It's on my sensor. But let me tell you something, man. When you're looking at the moon like this or any astronomical object, you have to consider that you're looking through the atmosphere. So in some cases, it's going to be like looking at a dime at the bottom of a swimming pool, man. That atmosphere is just going to make the image wavy. Now, I'm zoomed in a little bit so you can kind of see, maybe once in a while, you see the moon wobbling a little bit. See if you notice here on the edges. That's nothing wrong with my recording. That's just the atmosphere playing tricks, you know what I'm saying? So let me zoom in on that even some more so you can see the extreme of that, man. Focus on some of these craters here. You'll see that. So you see how this is all wobbly and all that shit? Okay, now, I thought to myself, if this is a hot pixel now, it's not going to wobble, you know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be on the surface of my sensor. And so that means that it's not going to be affected by that atmospheric interference. But here we go now. Let me play that for y'all. Okay, now, hold on a second. I'm in the wrong spot, you know what I'm saying? Let me bring it a little closer so we can see what we're supposed to be looking at. There it is. See this? See the hot pixel right there? Now, this is it paused, you know what I'm saying? So, let's play that. Now, you see it wobbling? Look, man. That ain't staying still. That's wobbling in like congruence with the atmospheric wobble. That's affecting the image of the moon, too, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm like, okay, then. What'd that mean, man? What is this sort of source of light here that's wobbling with the atmosphere? Am I looking at something that's reflected on the surface of the moon? You know what I'm saying? Am I looking at some kind of Chinese moon base or some shit? Now check this out, man. Let's zoom in even further. Okay, let's play that. Yo, man, it's wobbling like a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? This looks like it's coming from the surface of the moon. And I'm like, what is this source of light? Okay, so it started getting, oh, here's the interesting thing. Now, you're going to notice, man, that I skipped over onto the second clip that I had recorded. Both recordings, like I said, about 1.5 minutes long, both 4K, 30 frames per second. You see the shift of the moon? Now, I did that on purpose, right? Because when I was looking at it from my balcony, I could see the moon, right? And I'm like, I don't like the way I'm recording it, man, because it's not recording in the orientation that I'm be able to see it from where I'm standing. So I kind of just wanted to shift the camera a little bit and straighten the moon up a little bit, so it had more of that like orientation that was reflecting what I was seeing. So why that's important is because if that pixel was on my sensor and I pulled that shift on the camera like that, you would find that source of light in a different part of the image somewhere, right? I don't know, maybe it'd be over here or something, or maybe down here. It certainly wouldn't be in the same spot. But let me zoom in on this right quick. Now let's play this. Boom. There it is right there, man. Same spot. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it's in the same spot, at least to me, it looks that way. Now, I didn't sort of like analyze this with a ruler and measure anything topographically to know that it's the exact same distance by miles or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? But by eye, just looking at it, it looks like it's in the same spot, man. Because if it weren't there, it would be way off, man. It wouldn't even be anywhere close to the same spot, because I moved the whole camera, man. When you're talking about moving a camera by, you know, an inch on the planet Earth, man, that's going to affect something in the celestial body by like 1,000,000 miles, you know what I'm saying? And so when you're talking about if this was on the sensor, if it was here before in the first clip, then it should have been somewhere way down here or some shit like that, man. But it's not, man. It's on the same spot. Now let's check it out. Let me zoom right in again. This is the first clip, all right? There it is. There's the pixel right there, you know what I'm saying? That's the light source right there. Now you tell me if I'm going crazy, man. Maybe I am. Now let's look at it again over here. This is the second one. Bring that into view here. Has it moved? Is it just me? I mean, I don't know, man. Is it in the same spot? Has it moved? To me, man, it looks like it's in the same spot. You know what I'm saying? So that leads me to believe that what I'm seeing here reflected might be coming from the surface of the moon, man. Now, it's possible that there's something on there that's just reflecting light. But let me tell you something, man. I did this a couple of years ago where I was trying to find the moon lander, the lunar lander, that I think it was Apollo, I don't remember what it was, Apollo 11, don't quote me on that, had landed there with the little buggy and whatever. And I was using crazy focal lengths, man. Now keep in mind, I'm shooting this with a 600, ostensibly it's a 600 millimeter lens, because that's the range of my telescope. And I'm not even using a Barlow or anything like that to magnify it. And the field of view, I'm not really sure what the magnification on it's going to be, but it's a wide field of view. So that means to say that this isn't really zoomed in much, man, because I can see the whole moon in one field of view. I can see it in one frame, the whole moon. So this has got to be a pretty big light for me to be able to see it that way. Now tonight I'm going to pull out my other telescope, my C8. Now I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that exact same thing again. But I'm going to pull out my other telescope, my C8, and that's a 2,000 millimeter lens. And I'm going to put a Barlow on that, or a focal extender. That's going to be like 2 or 3 times. Try and get in on it. Zero in on this little spot, see if I can find some light. But let me tell you something, man. Let's zoom in on it. For it to be that predominant, that means it's large, man. It's large. It's got to be. I mean, like I said, when I was trying to find that lunar lander, which is a relatively large thing, I couldn't even, I mean, I was able to determine the location of it, but if I'm being honest, I don't think my equipment was strong enough to zero in on it, because it's so small compared to, you know, the size of the moon and the distance that I'm dealing with. So let's zoom in way in on it. I want to zoom way in on it, see if I can get you. Check this out. Let me play that. You know, see that? It's flickering, man. Hold on, we gotta get in on even more than that. Like way more than that. Let's get in on it. Come on. Where'd it go? There it is. Even more. Even more. Let's get in on it even more. You see that flickering? Look at that. Now I'm playing it right now. It's flickering. It's hobbling and moving. That's the atmosphere, man. So whatever I'm looking at here is beyond the atmosphere. Whatever it happens to be. Now, some of y'all might have an idea what that is and say, oh, stop acting a fool, man. Stop being a dumbass. I'll tell you what that is. Maybe it is some sort of anomaly with my camera. I don't know. I really don't know. It could be. Let's see. Now, we're going to keep a little piece of the moon there so we can see what we're looking at and see if the fluttering sort of coincides with the interference that the atmosphere creates. Is it consistent? Let's check it out. Yo, man. I don't know, man. You tell me. I think it's something, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know what it is. What could this be? This little teeny light. All right, check this out. All right, now I'm zoomed in on this like a motherfucker. And check it out, man. I'm zoomed in so much you can count the pixels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, maybe add another 5, 6. Let's just say somewhere in the 20 to 25 pixel range. Now, what's so big and bright on the moon that you can accommodate 25 pixels worth. Look at that. Here we go, man. What is this? Yo, man, if somebody's got an answer to that, I'm interested. You know what I mean? I mean, like I said, it might be nothing. I don't know, man. Maybe some of y'all out there know something about this. What is this anomaly I'm staring at? That's clearly being affected by atmospheric conditions. That is clearly on the surface of the moon. That is clearly reflecting light or a center of light itself. You know what I'm saying? Something interesting, that's for sure. And it's got to be substantial in size, because if it ain't substantial in size, well, let me tell you something, man. If it ain't substantial in size, then it wouldn't show up on an image like this, with that field of view, with that focal length, you know what I'm saying? So if y'all have an idea, man, put in the comments below. Maybe I should submit this to NASA, man. Let them know. Maybe they can shed some light on it, pardon the pun. Okay then, let's go inspect some of that equipment. All right, let me show y'all what I'm working with right here. Doug, man, what you doing, man?
Eating on your chips, homeboy.
Yeah, I can see that you eating on my chips, man. What about that? How come y'all don't buy your own chips, man? Why y'all always gotta be eating on my chips?
Cause I ain't got no motherfucking money, brap, brap.
Hey, man, what I told you about that language, man? I told you, watch yourself, bro. You're gonna get me demonetized before I even be monetized, you know what I'm saying? Yo, Doug, why don't you do something with yourself, man? You lazing around the house all the time, man. There's some bullshit, man. Let me tell you something, man. You always eating up on my chips, lazy in there, doing nothing, man. You ain't accomplishing nothing with your life, cuz.
You ain't gotta worry about that, feel me?
Yeah, I do worry about it. Guess what, man? You stay at my spot, you know what I'm saying? Cost me money, you know what I'm saying, Doug?
Fuck your money and how you talking to me. You better break yourself, fool.
What you mean, break myself? What you talking about, that stupidity, man?
Brap, brap.
Hey, man, you better come correct with that, for real.
Kiss my ass.
All right, Doug, enough of you, man. I had enough of this bullshit. Let me get on with the people, man. They trying to learn something here, man. Not without your distractions, you feel me? All right, so this is what I was using yesterday, folks. I was using this right here, you know what I'm saying? This is my 150 millimeter Newtonian, 6-inch basically, astrograph, Orion astrograph. Now this thing has been configured for shooting pictures because most Newtonians, they don't have the correct sort of dimensions to accommodate cameras and whatever, so it's hard to get on that focus. But this one here, man, this one's specially built for that. So it's an f4, as you can see, so that's pretty wide open as far as a telescope goes. You know, normally these things, especially the longer focal distance ones, just like in photography, man, they be on the real high on the f-stops, you know what I mean? I'm talking about like f10, f8, f12, this kind of thing. So f4 is pretty wide open and bright, so that's pretty good. And I got that mounted on my go-to mount. And this thing here, right here, this is one of them tracking mounts. It'll track the movement of the earth, so that you can kind of keep your stuff in focus all the time. And I'm working with that HEQ5 Pro Skywatcher, you know what I'm saying? So this is what I got. I got it all set up here right now. I kind of brought it in yesterday all in one piece. Normally I take it down and I break it apart, whatever. But yesterday I brought it in one piece because I wanted to use it again just today. So I figured it'd be easier to set it up. I marked my markings there. And yo, where I'm at, man, it's a bit of a challenge. I'll explain that later when I set up later on tonight. But where I'm at, it's a bit of a challenge where I try and shoot from and everything like that. So I got a mark there. I put some tape down just to give me a memory of where it was, and I'm gonna try and lay it down right back on that tape, man, because this thing as it is right now is all calibrated, balanced, and everything like that. So as long as I put it back in the same spot, it should be all right. So let's move forward, man, to tonight. We got some preparations to do. I'm gonna take y'all with me, man. You can see the process, and we'll see what we can capture. All right, then.
Hey, little homie, you gonna let me do some work? Hey? Can I go set up now or what? Hey? Can I go set up now? Hey? You gonna be in my way the whole time? Stuff going down? Hey, You gonna be in the way the whole time? Or you gonna be helping? That's my little buddy. This is Bozy, aka Kitty Smalls. Now let us, little homie. Right? You good boy? Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. You good boy. Alright, homie. Gotta get back to work now. I know. But I got to be doing things. Alright then, little man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my balcony, welcome to my view. I'm just sitting here. You might see in the reflection in the window right now that we getting a little bit close to that sun going down below the horizon, you know what I'm saying? Apologize for the noise from the road, but ain't no much I could do about that, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully that traffic died down a little bit something. I got my homie right here with me, Bozy Kitty Smalls. What's going on, cuz? You doing all right? Yeah, he just chilling. This homie, he love to sit out here with me, man. That's his favorite thing, you know what I'm saying? So we about to get this started soon. I mean, I'm waiting for that sun to go down. I can see the moon already. You know, it's still too bright, obviously, as you might be able to tell. We gotta wait for it to get darker. But I'm fully set up right now, so now it's just a waiting game. Gotta get to doing some alignment at first. You know, that's a challenge for me here because I'm shooting on my balcony and north is facing this way, and so I can't properly polar align my scope to within any sort of reasonable expectation of accuracy because obviously I have no view of Polaris, and Polaris is what they refer to as a North Star. That's what you usually point at when you try and get some kind of polar alignment going, you know what I'm saying? So we got to try and do our best. And the way I sort of figure it is that based on my location here, obviously I know my GPS coordinates very well. I know my elevation very well, and I'm on the 9th floor of this here building. This building's a twin tower, and I only have a certain view of the sky. I don't have a whole view of the sky, but I just got a sliver in between the buildings, and then I got everything to the east and everything to the west, you know what I'm saying? Actually, it's the other way around, but anyways, you know what I'm saying. And the way I do it is that where I'm at geographically, I'm 6 degrees west of magnetic north is where my true north is, so I just break out the compass, man, and do my best, cross my fingers and hope for it, you know what I'm saying? But yesterday I was out here, right, and just by luck, man, as luck would have it, that's just the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes you get it right on, and other times you way the F off, you know what I'm saying? But yesterday I was pretty dang close, man, one of the closest I ever been, so I made sure that I wrote that stuff down, man. I put some tape down, markers around the legs. So today I kind of left it assembled, whatever, brought it back out and plopped it, boom, right in the same spot. So y'all didn't even get a chance to see me do the full setup, whatever. I don't know if that's something that would interest you. If it is, write in the comments below. I'm happy to talk about it, but what we had to do today was basically just put a half setup because I sort of left it that way, and I just, you know, removed it yesterday and just plop, put it right back, you know what I'm saying? The other thing that I did is I changed the scope. Yesterday I went with that 6-inch f4 Newtonian Orion astrograph that I showed y'all before. Well, I decided to make a change, and I put on my 8-inch Schmidt Cassegrain. Now the astrograph that I used yesterday, that's 610 millimeter focal length. This one here is 2000, so obviously it's more than 3 times longer. The reason I've done that is because I figure with the camera that I'm going to be using and the focal length, based on my experience that I had yesterday, I think I can get away with this today without using any focal extenders or Barlows or anything like that, but we'll see. You know, cross my fingers again, man. I hope it does work out because, golly, man, I know there's so many people I was talking to today that say that where they at, man, it's cloudy and all the rest of that, but check that out, man. You can see it in the reflection in my glass. It is clear as a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the best conditions you could be hoping for, man. Not a cloud in sight. So, you know, today's obviously going to be the pinnacle of the conjunction, so we're going to try and get it as best we can. And that's another thing I sort of factored in, is that today they should be closer than they were even yesterday, and factoring that in, I'm hoping the Schmidt Cassegrain and that my ASI 174 has that perfect focal length, man. Get them right in perfect on the frame without having to use extenders or Barlows or anything like that, you know, make that image nice and crisp, like, you know what I'm saying? So we'll play around with that gain and all that stuff on the software, because obviously this is an F10, the other was an F4 and all that. But you know, you throw a bar low on extender, you always bringing it down a few stops. So hey, it's getting dark, man. Sun going down. It's gonna be about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes before I can start that star alignment. And when I do that, it's game on, cuz, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna start to get at that Jupiter right away. I still can't see it, obviously, because the sun is above the horizon, still going down. Usually it'll show up once the sun creeps down below the horizon. Jupiter's the first thing to show up because it's the brightest in the night sky, you know what I'm saying? And you know, this time of year, Jupiter where it is, I'm not sure what degree it is in the sky above the horizon, but I got a decent view, better view than most people up north will have, I think, just because of the fact I'm a little further south on it. But anyways, that being said, I got about maybe 2 hours, an hour, well, let's just say an hour and a half maximum of like good imaging time, because the thing is, obviously where it is in the horizon, you fighting that atmosphere, cuz you fighting it hard, you know what I'm saying? But I'm feeling positive, man, because the air is nice and crisp tonight. It's supposed to get cooler, so I hope that cuts the humidity out. You know, I hope that doesn't get these Floridians throwing their heaters on right above, because the Jupiter and Saturn going to be above the town, you know what I'm saying? So if they start throwing on those type of electrical appliances, man, might wreak havoc. But it's not, you know, I'm sitting out here in my t-shirt and my shorts, man. So if these people going to be putting on their heaters, come on now. Come on now. Don't do that, man. Go on with you. Don't be so stupid. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we got ideal conditions, man. I couldn't have asked for better. I know I'm pumping myself up, man. Check this out. I hope that I don't ruin anything tonight, but yo, it's just a waiting game right now, man. I'll say we got nothing but like 5 minutes left before that sun gone. I'm gonna grab my sandwich, have my dinner before that happens, because I don't want to have any distractions of a stomach rumbling or anything like that, man. I got it all prepared, man. I got my smoothie ready to go. I got my sandwich ready to go. I'm gonna eat that shit, and I'm gonna have my energy ready to go. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Booyakasha. Let's get it done. Alright, I thought I'd show y'all something. This is my ZWO ASI 174 MC Cool that I was talking to you guys about before. Something I thought you might be interested in seeing is check out that. Isn't that pretty cool, man? That's the light pollution filter that I have on there. Obviously that's going to be necessary because we're going to be pointing that at the night sky, and where Jupiter is right now, it's right above the town. So hopefully that cuts down on some of that light pollution, you know what I'm saying? And we just plugged this in, man, right here. It's got a USB 3.0 connection. I'm gonna set that up for the time being, plug that in just like that. I'm gonna leave it on top of my laptop sitting here just for the time being. And then I'm gonna plug that into my USB 3.0 extension cable so that it has plenty of slack. And I'm gonna get this going too. This is what you connect the power to, and I think I forgot something inside. I'm gonna have to go get it. But basically, this is the power cord for the camera. The camera will run obviously without this if you plug it into the USB, but this power cord is what controls the cooling system. So obviously I want to be able to control how cool the camera get. So we're gonna do it with this here. Make sure it's plugged in. Let's connect all this, plug that in there, but I'm gonna have to pop inside and grab that splitter cable that I seem to have forgotten. It's right on the inside, so I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, it's dark enough. I'll set it up here on the hand controller and pertinent information. I'm gonna do a 1-star alignment tonight just to get it going quick, right? Because I could already see Jupiter and Saturn, man. They tight like this, son, you know what I'm saying? And I've chosen my star. I'm gonna enter in slew. So we got that mount moving right now, and fingers crossed. Okay, now I can finally see it. That's why I got my spectacles on, because I like to be able to see the fine points of light in the sky, because there's still a little bit of light right now. I mean, it's too late to start imaging, that's for sure, but we can definitely acquire our targets and get in on that. Let's just see how good we got it right here. All right, don't look too bad at all. Okay then, let's see what we got. All right, check it out, y'all. I know this looks like I'm in the red light district or whatever, but this is the type of light you gotta use when you're doing that astrophotography, man. You can't be having them bright lights on and all that stuff, because those lights can interfere with the photography. So anyways, I got you on that red light, so I hope that the autofocus on my camera can handle that, man. Doesn't sort of trip it out, whatever. But check it out, man. Alignment was perfect. It all went great, man. It's working out beautiful right now, and we got ourselves locked on. Check this out, man. We're looking at a live view picture right here, man. Jupiter and Saturn right there, you know what I'm saying? Check it out, man. Let me play around with the gain and whatever a little bit, you know what I mean? Dial it in some, make it a little bit more manageable. But you see, look, check it out, man. We can see 4 moons there of Jupiter. I don't know what we're looking at exactly. Maybe we're looking at Io, Europa, Ganymede. I don't know what else, other moons probably, but let's bring that exposure down a little bit too. You know what I'm saying? Because we're going to take some data sets. This is what I'm going to do, man. I'm going to take data sets where I have Jupiter exposed. I'm going to take data sets where I have, well, right now I'm on the moon profile, that ain't right. Put it on Jupiter. Okay then. Alright then, boom, we framed up again, cuz. Alright, so you can see, I turned the debayering off, and the debayering is what gives it color. So if I put this here back on, you can see the color now. I mean, it ain't great, but let's see if I can get Jupiter a little bit better. That looks nice. I'm gonna up the exposure a little bit in the milliseconds there, and I'll take that down. See what we can do it here with the gamma. Should I bring the gamma down? Yeah, something like that. Now you see, I'm gonna take some data sets with Jupiter, just Jupiter, and I mean exposed for Jupiter. Then I'm gonna take some data sets exposed for Saturn, and I'm gonna combine them two. It's the only thing you could do. I mean, you could look at it right now like it is, you know what I'm saying, and you seeing 2 planets right next to each other, and that's dope as it is, man. You got the live view, so y'all know, man, I ain't playing. This is what it is, man. But to get that nice picture, I'm gonna have to combine 2 different exposures. All right, so check this out. Let's get to it then. All right, I went and got my sweater. It's getting a little chilly outside, but it's still nice out here. So I took a bunch of data sets, and I wanted to show you guys something on how I was deciding to do this. Now you can see here, if I transfer over at this moment here, you can see right here on the screen, obviously we're tracking these 2, Jupiter, Saturn. And what I do is I combine exposures, and what I mean by that is because obviously, like I was saying before, if you look at this right here, Jupiter's at a decent exposure, but Saturn's a little dim, you see what I'm saying? But you can't even see the moons of Jupiter here in this exposure either. Now what I'll do is, maybe I'll dial it down a little bit, something like this here. Mess around with the gain, whatever. Maybe bring the exposure up a little bit like that. Until I get to a point where I'm like, okay, I can kind of see something. See, like that's all right on Jupiter right there. But Saturn is obviously underexposed big time, you know what I'm saying? So I'll take a data set like this on Jupiter, and then after that data set is over, I'll pump it up with the exposure, and I'll see now the moons are starting to pop in, you see what I'm saying? So see, if I crank it up here like this, right, let me take it down a little bit. See, now I can see the moons. I can see one right here, one right here, one right here, and one right here. And Saturn is nicely exposed too. Bring it down a little bit because Saturn was a little overexposed. So I would take a data set here like this, right? So we can get a nice exposure of Saturn. And then what I'll do is I'll really crank it up. Something like this here. Check it out. Well, we found a sweet spot. Well, let's just say something like this, because now I got it cranked up so high I could clearly see the moons of Jupiter, you see what I'm saying? And here too, I could clearly see this couple moons of Saturn. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 6. I think there's one right here, maybe even 7 moons of Saturn. Jesus Christ, somebody watching something, man. And then I'll take a data set of something like this at these high, long exposures. Maybe I'll take 100 frames of this, something like that. And then in post, it gives me an idea of obviously where the moons are, and I could take this data set, process it for the moons, take the other data set, process it for Saturn, take the other data set, process it for Jupiter, and then combine them into one image so we can have even exposure of everything that you want to see, right, in this frame. Now this here, I don't even know if this might be a moon or if this is a star or what, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot of dots out here. I don't know, I mean, it might be. It might be. You don't know, man. I'd have to sort of cross-reference it against some, star maps or some shit like that, or some sort of astronomical followings of Saturn, so that I know where the moons are at any given time. Obviously I know what time I'm taking this right here, and then I'll look it up to see whether or not that actually indeed was a moon, or if that was some sort of a star or something like that. And if it was a moon, obviously I'll include it. If it wasn't, then I'm not going to. But that's how I do it. It's just basically like a composite, you know what I mean? So here we are, man. You're looking at it. Check this out. What y'all think of this? This is real time, man. Real time. Incredible, man. Once in a lifetime, for real. Just beautiful. I'll tell you something, man. It's something to see. It's on my computer screen right now, and you can look at it like that. But when you look at it through the eyepiece, damn, man. I'm telling you, man. I ain't religious, but that's a spiritual experience. Let me tell you something. So that's what we're gonna do, man. I'm gonna take these data sets. I think I might point it over to the moon and see what's what over there, you know what I'm saying, about that little light I saw last night. And see if we can't figure something out about that. I don't know if that's gonna pop up again, if that was a one-time thing, you know what I'm saying, but we'll have to check it out and see. Oh, by the way, I switched over to normal light right now. I'm not in the red anymore because I'm not imaging at the moment. So this light is not gonna be disturbing anything really. So it just gives me a chance to give the camera a break on the autofocus, because I think that autofocus was tripping with that red, man, for real. All right, then, let's get moving on, son. All right, good morning, everybody. It's the next day. We done some imaging last night. Came out real nice. Conditions were ideal, man. This morning I'm out here sitting on my balcony again. I got my little homie here, Kitty Smalls, you know what I'm saying, AKA Bozy. And it's a beautiful morning, man. We had a great night last night. Conditions were ideal, no doubt about it, man. I mean, we didn't have a cloud in the sky. This morning it's a little bit cloudy, but that's all right. Everything's cool. So what happened last night, man? Y'all seen it, man. Y'all see what happened? Y'all saw the real-time images I done shown you, and Saturn and Jupiter were side by side, you know what I'm saying, like this. And we was able to get that in the frame using the ASI 174 and using the C8. That worked out beautiful, man, just beautiful. And that's why sometimes it's important, man, when you have something like that, it's gonna happen, man. You gotta get out the night before, a couple nights before, and practice, man. You gotta put that stuff into practice so you know that what you plan on doing is gonna work, because you can make those adjustments on the fly, no doubt about it, man, if you have to change up your telescope or something like that. But truth is, man, once you get to that point where it's dark outside, you better have your shit dialed in, because changing your telescope at that point is not the ideal situation, because you gotta balance that again. You gotta make sure that you align your guide scope to your telescope, and that's way easier to do when it's light outside. Anyways, worked out nice. The C8 came out nice. Now I was talking about going over and checking out some shit on the moon afterwards, and I done that. I didn't live stream any of that, or I didn't show y'all any of that as I was doing it, rather, because to tell you the truth, man, I ain't found that light again. I was looking and searching, going all around those dark areas of the moon, man, on all kind of magnifications, trying to get in on it, but just didn't reoccur, man. So I don't know what's going on over there, man. I don't know what's going on, whether it's those Chinese or something shit doing a moon base or whatever. They smart enough to get it going, you know what I'm saying? Or whether it's some kind of alien craft or some shit, or whether it's just some sort of anomaly with my camera. To be honest with you, I have no idea, man. So if y'all have an idea, post it in the comments, man. Tell me whether or not you think I should send that shit to NASA, man. Let them know. Maybe there's something to it. Maybe there ain't. I don't know. Anyways, put up some of that footage of me slewing on the moon. You can see some of that moon footage right now. And, and it's really impressive, man, when you're looking through a telescope and you're looking at the surface of the moon like that, man. The magnifications you get is just crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. I mean, it always blows my mind, man. Even if I've seen it 100 times, man, I'm still fixated on it, want to see it again, you know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things, man. You got to get yourself out there when there's a nice clear night. And obviously you're subject to other things like atmospheric interference, you're subject to like humidity, you're subject to all kinds, man, all kinds. Obviously if it's cloudy, it's not cloudy, all that sort of thing, the transparency of the sky and all the rest of that, man. So you know, if you get yourself a good, perfect night, man, you better get out there, get it done, because those don't happen very often. I'll be honest with you, man. Most of the times that I go out, the conditions aren't ideal, man. I get okay images, decent images. Sometimes I get good images. I've yet to get that like great image that I'm real proud of. But you want to know something? Yesterday, yo, check this image out, and this is what I was able to get with Jupiter and Saturn. Tell me what y'all think. I think it came out nice. You know, it's one of the better images I was able to capture, you know, because the equipment that I'm using, if I don't have to use extenders or bottles or anything like that, then the image comes out clear, comes out nice and crisp, you know what I'm saying? Because when I start using extenders and whatever, then it can kind of muddy up the image a bit, you know what I'm saying? Because these are such small targets you're trying to acquire so far away. If you don't have the best magnifications like a Hubble telescope or some shit, man, you ain't gonna get those images. But I'm proud of what I got. I'm happy with it, you know what I mean? I hope y'all like it too. Here's a couple images I got of the moon as well. So, y'all tell me what you think, man. Maybe you liked it, maybe you didn't, man. Anyways, this was my great conjunction special. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. I know it was long, but hey, man, when it comes to something like this, that's a once-in-a-lifetime event. You don't want to cut corners, that's for sure, you know what I'm saying? So, again, man, thanks for watching. Consider subscribing, give it a thumbs up and all that bullshit. And yeah, man, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.